What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to go over the trades that we took today inside the Discord, as well as the game plan going into tomorrow. Today, man, today was probably one of the best days you could ever ask for when it comes to the system, man. There was 3 trades given. All of them hit, I think, probably for over 100 points. And, I mean, if you guys traded the system today, you guys saw all the trades that were provided. And hopefully you guys are agreeing. Agree in the Discord today. And I'm going to show you what we took, why we took it, and my thoughts on the market. So, every day off of the open, I'm always looking at the 30-minute chart to kind of give me a sense of direction on where we're going. So when it comes to the open, we opened right here, 9:30, right around this 50 SMA on the 665 calls for Friday for the 30-minute chart. This is the chart that tells me the trend, and since we aren't crossed here and we're not crossed on the puts, that means the market is neutral. Neither side has the trend. So what I'm looking for is a 0DT cross either side, and we actually ended up we actually ended up getting a call cross that you could have taken. I didn't take it because I was managing some swing trades that I'm going to go over in a little bit here. But this is the trade that was provided here off of after like the first 30 minutes. We ended up getting this cross here on the call side. And look at the move we got. I mean, this is a fat move. NQ would probably ripped like 200 points from this move, probably even more. But you can see 10 SMA went above the 50. Right at 955 would have been your entry. Or you could have got in on this 950 candle with some starter size and then average up some more once we got that candle closure here at 955. Or at 950 would have been the candle close, and then the open of the 955 candle, you would have added some more. But that's when we were getting the cross. And look at the move we got. I mean, this went vertical instantly. You would have been green. There was no drawdown on that trade whatsoever if you took it. And that move was given from that. And some people were a little confused because we were at that 30-minute 50 chart. I dropped in the Discord before the cross happened that I favored it breaking, just because one, we are bouncing off this major support on the monthlies, which I'm gonna pull up real quick so you guys can see what I'm talking about. 660, yeah, so 665 calls for November. You can see we ended up bouncing hard off this daily 50 SMA yesterday and into today, and that's a pretty significant support. So that paired with the call cross, paired with the put cross or put negative cross that was going on the put side, we were actually like crossing negative here on the puts at the same time those calls were crossing. So that's pretty bullish. And then, like I said, the monthly chart and then the 30-minute chart on the puts also in confluence. I mean, we ended up obviously, where's the open at? Down here, 9:30. Yeah, so 9:30 we end up opening down in here, and you can see on the hourly, I mean, this chart was just crossing negative on the hourly, and all these things kind of paired with each other. I would have taken that call cross if I took the actual trade, if I saw it in real time. Nope. But yeah, call cross, that was definitely something you could have taken, and it was a valid trade. I kind of assumed we were going to break that 30-minute 50, and we did, and that call cross ended up printing a bag if you took. So that was trade 1 for the day. That was a really good trade. You could have called it at that. Market was neutral still, so we still hadn't crossed on the 30-minute chart on the call side. Even though we broke above the 50, it's not, obviously it's not meaning we have the trend here on the 30-minute, and the SMAs did cross, but the 50 SMA is still sloped down, so there's no trend. The 50 SMA has to be flat or curling up, cannot be sloped down how it was today for it to be considered trend. And if you went to the call side once again, and we look on this negative cross that happened, this was another trade you could have taken. I mean, 10 SMA crossing below the 50, your entry would have been a really good entry, actually. I think at 11:30 here, the candle closed at 11:30. You would have been in this because I was watching this at the time. 10 SMA is down super hard. 50 is already curling down. Could have went short there, and you would have been paid big time. And you could have sold everything at the 50 SMA on the put side because we kind of use these charts in the sync. So when we're getting that negative cross here at 11:30, that candle closed right here. You entered, and then you sell it all when we hit that major intraday resistance here at that 50 SMA on the 5-minute. So that's kind of how you gauge TPs when you're taking negative crosses. Your final TP is always going to be this 50 SMA on the opposite side of the premium, because at that point, that's your intraday resistance. So if it wants to break above that and cross, you could just wait, just sell everything, wait for that entry to get short more, because there's really no point in trying to hold that past the cross. Just get a re-entry when we get the cross, when the 50 curls, and yeah, I mean that's exactly what happened. I mean, you could have taken that negative cross, you would have been paid right there. Sell it all at the 50. NQ is probably up like 60, 70 points. And then if we look here, we ended up getting this put cross, which was a massive move. If you guys were watching the market in the afternoon, we got a massive drop, and we ended up catching this. I call this out in the Discord, and we caught a fat move. So we got this 10 SMA crossing the 50. Again, the 50 SMA has to be curling up when you take this trade, and it obviously on this chart it kind of looks like it curls on this 1255, but in real time the 1 o'clock candle right here is when it curled. As soon as the clock struck 1 o'clock Eastern time, the 50 SMA immediately curled up, and that's when I added full size, because I took 2 entries on this. So I originally added at one of these 2 candles right here, and then the 50 SMA was kind of dancing between curling up and pointing down. So I got out for like, I'd just call it break even. I mean like 1 or 2 points, and then I got back in with some starter size, and then that was on this 1255 candle. I added back in starter size, and then this, as soon as 1 o'clock hit, I literally fat fingered my mouse and shorted my full size position, and we got a massive move out of it. I sold it all for 80 points. I took half off at 60 points, and yeah, that was a textbook move, because at the same time we had the 30-minute chart here on the puts kind of crossing negative. So or not the puts, on the calls. So if we look here on the 30-minute, the calls were obviously losing this 50 major support. I mean, not really major support given the 50 was down, but we couldn't cross on the call side. This chart was beginning to go negative, and that's why we ended up getting a significant drop. And this morning we actually, and I didn't even notice this, but we hit the 1 hour 50 that marked the top. But yeah, those were the entries given today on SPY. And then also for the Friday contracts, I mean, we did have the 4 hour 50 up in here crossing negative, and then this daily chart is still crossing negative at the moment. I mean, it's still a little early on what's going to happen, but really all depends on what contracts we get on Friday and what those new ones look like. Because right now, given that it's Wednesday going into Thursday, and we pick new contracts on Friday, the new contracts might not have a daily 50 SMA, so maybe won't be that significant after all. But this 4 hour chart is, it's pretty bearish when it comes to this negative cross that happened, and that that paired with the 0DT put cross was a really good combo. Ended up rejecting that major resistance here on the 4 hour, coming down, crossing negative, and we got that move out of the 0DT cross. So that's pretty much what we did when it came to SPY. It was a really textbook day. All those trades probably added up to like who knows how many points. Probably really depends on how long you held them, but I mean 60 to 100 points, let's call it 70, so like 210 points probably on average if you sold everything for 70 points between those 3 trades. But really good day. I mean, it's as simple as that, man. Every single day the past like week or two has been phenomenal. We've been catching really good moves. The volatility in the market is great, and it's just been very easy. I'm not going to lie, the market has been on easy mode the last 2 weeks. Every single trade is just hitting, and it's great. I mean, we're killing it in the Discord. We're also killing it with our individual swings on stocks, which I'm going to go over. But I'm telling you guys got to learn how to trade these charts. Master these charts, and you will do well. It's as simple as that. You got to put in the time. I have a ton of videos, ton of recaps, so there's no excuse for you not to be able to learn, because I have all free content on the YouTube going over trades I've taken over the past like 2 years. And you can kind of see all the ins and outs in those videos on why I took trades, why I didn't take certain trades, things like that. Obviously, I definitely focus more so on the most recent ones, just because I've learned a lot of new things along the way when it came to trading these charts. So in the past like 6 months to a year, that's probably your best timeline when it comes to watching the videos to learn from, because I've definitely picked up on little things, and I've gotten a lot better with the system. So yeah, that's all we did when it came to SPY. Going into tomorrow, the market is neutral, and by neutral, it just means that we're not, there's no trend in the market at the moment. So this 30-minute chart tells me that 10 SMA is below the 50 here on the call side. I know it's above right now, but the 50 SMA isn't flat or curling up, so there's no trend. That's not a valid cross, and it's probably gonna cross negative. But on the put side, same thing. 10 SMA is below the 50 here. You can see that massive drop that happened in the afternoon. We ended up rejecting and bottoming right out at that 30-minute 50. That's our major pivot in the market when it comes to our charts and whether, if we're going to get trend or not. It's usually based on that 30-minute 50. Once it breaks, a lot of times we go and cross, but then again, you do have to watch what the 50 SMA looks like and how if it's pointing up or, sloped down, then it's not a trend. If it's sloped down, obviously, if it's sloped up or flat, then we do have trends. So, yeah, that's all I have for SPY going into tomorrow. I mean, what do we got? We just got a 0DT cross either side of the premium. I mean, very simple. Same game plan as today. And, negative crosses also work. Maybe we'll get bullish trend again if we could get the 30-minute chart to cross on the calls. But as of right now, market is neutral. Call cross, put cross, negative cross on puts, or negative cross on calls. Those will be valid trades for tomorrow. And, yeah, hopefully tomorrow's another good day. And when it comes to individual names, I'm going to show you guys right here what I took. So this was a absolute heater move. I mean, ACHR, really good textbook move. We ended up swinging this into today, and these went crazy, 200% on this swing, and I'm going to go over why I took it. So you can see here, ACHR, big move up here, big move up, large volume, pulls back, volume declines. We're kind of just forming this little, range, or what's the word? Yeah, I guess just range. We pulled back, kind of consolidating in here, and I took the test of this high right here. I believe we broke above this high. I got in, and I ended up swinging this into today from yesterday, and we caught a massive move. I had the 14 calls for next week's expiration. They went 200+%, and you can see right off of open. I mean, look at the move. Look at this move by this candle. I mean, this is such a fat candle. This candlestick was 10% alone on the 5-minute chart, which is crazy. So, yeah, I was out majority on this move, and then I ended up selling the rest on, somewhere near this pullback down in here. But, yeah, I had 200% on the position. Really, really fat move, and it's as simple as that, man. I mean, ACHR has been pretty strong in the market. This was my first target for a trim. I trimmed when I was up like 80%, held the rest, and, obviously it immediately went in my favor and ripped higher. So, yeah, I mean, stock made a large move up, pulled back, went sideways a little bit, volume died out, and then on yesterday we printed a really nice candle, and then today gapped up a little bit and ripped off the open. So ACHR 200%, that's what we took into today. And then we also had SLUN, which we ended up closing today. But yeah, I mean, really good move. Same thing, same concept. I mean, it's a little bit different of a chart, but I mean, it's very similar. We kind of formed this area of resistance here around like 1915, and we started to break above it on Monday, and that, this high right here marked out to take on Tuesday. So yesterday we ended up breaking above that high, and I swung SLUN calls, and these were up 100% today off of the open. So really good trade on SLUN. I sold majority there off of the open. I was up like 95%, and then it pulled back a little bit. I just ended up closing the rest because the whole market as a whole was dumping, and we already caught a good move. So I'm like, you know what, I'll just close it. I mean, the chart still really looks good for higher. It probably does end up ripping higher, but yeah, I just took my profits on that. And then what else do we have? I'm pretty sure Oracle. I actually ended up closing this out today, but I did re-enter. So we're gonna see how this plays out. This is a chart that I just think is gonna have an explosive move one day where it's up like 10%, 15%. The chart is just, coiled right now. We got this large move up. It's pulling back here. Volume died out a ton, and pretty much I was playing this. I think I played this high day break right here for my entry, and then I was up like 70% today, and then I added to this position a little bit after open, which was actually the dead top, I believe. Yeah, I actually added at the dead top right here. So after this candle closed, I averaged up on my position, and you can see what happened. I mean, that was pretty much the top, and it pulled back, and I stopped out for, I believe it was it 12% maybe, something like that, 5%, 5 to 10%, something like that. And yeah, I mean, it may sound stupid, but I'm not closing this when this chart looks really primed like this, and we don't even have like a fat green candle on the chart. So yeah, sure, I was up 70%, but that wasn't part of my plan. I was looking to hold this for multiple days, and I did re-add this today, which I'm still a little concerned about this area right here, that 304.42. I may just wait until tomorrow to re-enter this and just wait for this high day break, maybe at 310. But yeah, Oracle is one I would definitely keep on watch. I really like this name, and it was a good setup, but obviously the market ended up pulling back as well, so that didn't help the swing at all. But Yeah, really good day. I mean, we caught 200% on ACHR. We caught SOUN for 95%, and then Oracle small loss. I mean, that's kind of the what you have to do. You got to keep the losses small, and that's what we've been doing. I mean, I've been cutting these for really like five. I've literally been cutting my losers for like 5 to 15% just when the charts don't look great, and it's been working. So those are some names that we caught. I'm trying to think of another swing if we did catch it or not, but probably not. Yeah, Oracle is one I definitely keep on your watch list over the next couple days, couple weeks. But that's pretty much all I got. If you guys enjoyed, drop a sub. Hopefully you guys are learning things from these videos, because I have a ton of videos out there, and when it comes to day trading, SPY, futures, whatever it is, options, whatever you're trading, I'd 100% learn the system, man. That's what it's called, the option charts, that whole strategy I trade. You learn that, it'll make your life 100 times easier when it comes to day trading. And then when it comes to individual stocks, for me, I think this is the way I want to go with the swings. I mean, the daily chart, playing these breakouts, it's very easy to spot, and the risk to reward on these are just through the roof. So yeah, I really like it for swings, and then also, like I said, for day trading, SPY, options, whatever it is, futures, when it comes to SPY, that's the way to go. The system really makes it simple. We're playing crosses of 2 SMAs. It's not that hard. You just have to understand the different premiums that we're watching and kind of know the ins and outs. But that's all I got. Join the court if you want to learn. Link is below. But yeah, I'm out. Peace.